Greetings fellow traders, this is Max and welcome to my Sunday market analysis where I'm going to analyze the market and share with you my top trades for the upcoming week. And for this week I have 8 pairs on my closer watch list with potential trades for this week that are lining up and that I am interested in taking. And I would like to start here with the pair Euro-AUD. On the weekly chart we see that we are in a very beautiful uptrend still, and we formed this kind of weekly bullish flag formation, bullish flag pattern here. On the daily chart, we see an area of interest or a potential support area effectively forming around this level here, which is around a round psychological level, the 1.77 round psychological level. And we even have here the 1.78 round psychological level. So on the even lower time frames, let's take the 4-hour here, we still see that the price is still really uncertain where to go. We have kind of a consolidation here. We even had a little fake out, so swept some liquidity, but then there was enough buying power for price to actually return again. And my trading plan for this pair for this week is going to be that I want to wait for price on the 4-hour to close at least above this area here, which is kind of forming or kind of breaking the neckline of this potential inverse head and shoulders here. But for an even lower risk approach, I would like to see a new daily candle to actually close relatively bullish here. And then I want to wait for a retracement the next day after this bullish daily candlestick, and then essentially enter this trade on a higher low. So this is a potential long trade on Euro-AUD. The next pair I'm interested in is Euro-GBP. So we have the Euro here again, which is kind of giving me a confidence that the Euro is actually still really strong for this week compared to the other currency in this pair. So we have here Euro-GBP, which, as you see on the weekly chart, has become really bullish here. Okay, we see these really strong bullish weekly candlesticks here and very small bearish candlesticks. So on the daily we kind of have a head and shoulders forming here. However, we haven't broken the neckline, so it's not really a confirmed head and shoulders, or at least a head and shoulders that indicates a reversal. So since this is still looking really bullish and we are still in this uptrend, I am looking for buy opportunities here, and it's pretty much similar to Euro-AUD. I would like to see a daily candlestick close green and then enter on a higher low, or depending on the 4-hour or just the 2-hour candlestick formations, I would like to see something like this and then essentially enter here on this higher low with a stop loss probably around this area, somewhere below here as a swept liquidity. So I assume there could be a really bullish push in the beginning of this week, but yeah, something like that, so that the risk reward ratio is still good. But that depends. I'll be relatively patient with this trade. It's not really, it's not really something, or it's not really a trade that looks relatively clean for me, so that's why I'd like to see a bullish daily candlestick close here first. The next pair is Euro-USD. So on the weekly as well, we are really bullish. We broke on the weekly this area here, which has been resistance a couple times, and now it is potentially turning into support here. It's even around a round psychological level, the 1.12 round psychological level. So I'm waiting for price to retrace back into this area here, sweep some of the liquidity sitting below here, and then of course look for entries on the daily or the lower time frame to then open a long position and buy Euro-USD, which is also a fairly simple break and retest trade. It just requires some more patience here, as we see that we have closed this kind of neutral or as a rejection pretty much this weekly candlestick. So I'm waiting for price to retrace further down. It might actually be a red week, and then it could be a neutral week until price is then going to turn around to the upside again. So this might not actually happen this coming week, this entry, but it's definitely a trade I will have a look at, or a closer look at, with my alarm set here. The next pair I'm interested in this week is GBP CHF. So on the weekly, we are seeing that we have created a new low here, so it looks really bearish to me, the weekly time frame, and we have this really former support really strong former support area here, and I want to see it now become resistance. That's why I have to wait probably a couple days more. So price is getting into this area here around this 1.11 around psychological level. I want to see price getting rejected in here, maybe even rejecting the EMA. This could take a couple days, and then I'm interested in a short position. So essentially the price formation could look something like this here, and then I'm going to enter on the lower high, but this is probably going to take some time, so I want to be patient with this trade as well. But this is the one, or this is the short opportunity that I will have a closer look at on GBP CHF. The next pair is GBP NZD, and we see here that we are still in a really beautiful uptrend. Now, I shared in my free Telegram channel that I have entered a trade last week on Thursday it was, I believe. This was essentially, I believe, at this candlestick or somewhere around here. This was actually on Wednesday. I entered this trade here, and we see now that we are pretty much pushing in the direction that I wanted price to see moving. Even on the weekly chart here, we see that we have pretty much rejected this level here around this zone. And we've closed as this really nice weekly pin bar candlestick here. So this is indicating a really fairly strong rejection from, first of all, this 2.22 round psychological level and the 2.23 round psychological level. I am seeing price moving still stronger to the upside now, and this is what I am anticipating for this week. My first profit target is going to be around this area here, but I do see price potentially even going up here again or around this area for a really nice risk reward ratio. So this is still one of the top trades for my week, as I'm still holding this trade. I have held it over the weekend now, and I will stay into this trade. So it's either a stop out for me or win. I do not think I will close this trade earlier, but I will see and monitor the price movement. If it's ranging, I might make a decision, but as of right now, I will just let the trade run. Next top pair is NZD-JPY. So on the weekly chart, we see actually a really strong recovery here, in my opinion, and we kind of even closed above this area here. So the short chances are not really great, at least in my opinion, but since this is still a really strong downtrend, I am still looking for short opportunities here. And in particular on the lower time frame, I want to see something like this: a shift of structure first, price closing below here, or maybe even lower. That's totally fine. And then I would like to see a lower high here to then enter a short position on NZD-JPY to sell it with the first profit target. It could definitely be around here, the 81 round psychological level. So this is a really strong, or a really short trade with a lot of profit potential, but it's important to be patient here as well. Again, might have another liquidity sweep to the upside, could even come into this area here, but I do not think I am looking for short opportunities in this area here. If price returns, then I would rather look for a long opportunity than here again to buy to the upside, as this might indicate actually a really strong price reversal. This is probably not going to happen this week, but I will have a closer look at the price movement on this week here around this area. So we'll see if there's a potential short position and short opportunity coming up. The next and almost last pair is NZD-USD. On the weekly chart, we have pretty much shown a lot of bullish momentum here. We even crossed the weekly 50 EMA, which is a really nice additional confluence that price might actually turn around now and head further to the upside. But I want to wait for price to come down into this area, reject the EMA potentially on the weekly at least, and on the daily it might take a couple days more. I want to see price coming down into this area, giving my long entry signal to then buy NZD-USD. But as you see here, it could actually take an entire week to just retest the area, and then it might actually happen the week after the next week. So pretty much in 2 weeks, not actually this week, but I would just have a look. Maybe there's going to be a really nice long opportunity on the daily chart forming here, but if not, I'm not going to take this trade. So I will I will be very patient with this trade as well. I've set my alarms, so whenever price reaching this area, I will be informed and I will have a look at the charts. Important to note here, it's even around a round psychological level as well, the 0.59 round psychological level. And the final pair I have on my closer watch list is USD CAD. On the weekly chart, we saw this really big correction here, and what's interesting now is we are in an area that was resistance, right? And now it could actually become support. We have those 2 weeks closing here as some nice doji rejection candlesticks. So this is a really interesting sign for me, because this might indicate that the price is actually going to reverse to the upside. So on the daily chart, what I see here is actually the strong bullish daily engulfing candlestick here with a small correction, but then this one leaving a really big wick. So really neutral daily candlestick. And I would like to take this trade with a low risk approach. So on a lower time frame, I want to see price actually breaking this area here, the 1.39 round psychological level, and I want to see cross it, then retest it, and with some good bullish confirmation here, then I'm going to enter a long position on USD CAD. This could actually take just a couple days maybe, but even though we had this really huge correction here, I do see price coming back, even retesting this area here for a potential short opportunity, because it's some kind of double top. And if price comes back into this area here, then a short opportunity could set up for me here. And that's why I want to buy USD CAD if the price action is the one that I would like to see. And then there's a really nice profit potential of a 1-to-4 risk reward ratio. As always, I've analyzed the other pairs as well, but those are the pairs with my most favorite trades for this week. And I've set alarms on those other pairs as well. And if there's one alarm getting triggered and a potential trade setting up, I will share it in my free Telegram channel, which you can join at any time. I will put a link to it into the video description. You will also find the links to my other socials there. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below and I will try to answer your questions. I wish you a successful trading week. Remember to manage your risk properly, and see you next Sunday.